Hello everyone, welcome back to another weather forecast video. Today we will be going over Tropical Storm Sara here in the Caribbean Sea and the possibility for a massive weather change, bringing the possibility for very cold weather and the possibility for some snowstorms going into next week. So if we started off here, we can see we have Tropical Storm Sara here. Doesn't look very organized, just recently got upgraded to a tropical storm and is forecast to make landfall um, later. Well, it's gonna move off just to the north here and kind of stall out over the next couple days. You can see all the way through. You can see all the way 2 days from now. It's still hanging around this general area, so it is very slow moving. So it won't be moving very fast, and it could bring a lot of rain to places on the coast here. I've seen upwards of almost 30 inches in total, so we got to watch out for possible major flooding along the coast here. And then it's forecast to make landfall around Belize as a tropical storm, 50-mile-per-hour winds, and has the possibility of re-entering somewhere in the Gulf over here and maybe doing some sneaky things where it recurves off to the north. But we are not quite sure on that yet, so we will just continue to watch the trends for the possibility of this trying to make some impacts along the coast here as it will re-enter the Gulf, and we'll see if it tries to re-strengthen or not. And if we bring it over to the jet stream here, we can get an idea of what our jet stream is going to look like, and that's what influences our temperature patterns or our severe weather or storms in general. So we can see here that this little divot right here is what's bringing that colder weather out here near the Great Lakes here. That's what's bringing our colder weather out near the Great Lakes here. And if we drag it out, we can see that move off. And we'll likely warm up a bit here within this ridge here. We'll likely warm up a little bit, extending off into the Great Lakes. And then we can see our next trough setting up, and this is a pretty decent sized one. And this is tomorrow and going into Saturday. And we can see that on Sunday, going into the Monday time frame, we kind of have this little closed off divot down here that is negatively tilted, so it might try and draw up some nice dew points there and draw some moisture into the Texas area, and that will lead to the possibility for severe weather. And we do have a day 5 and day 4 slight risk of severe weather already in place for this little system down here, as it could cause the possibility for all threats of severe weather. So I will keep an eye on that. But if we drag that out, we could see our next trough really beginning to set up. And you can see this thing really take shape here going into the Wednesday time frame of next week. If you really drag that out, you can see how massive this trough is, and this will draw down a lot of cold air for a lot of areas within the U.S. Most areas in the U.S. are going to be impacted by colder air and possibly strong winds and cooler temperatures and a lot of rain likely out of this system here. And you can really see that jet streak here. So watch out for some turbulence when flying east to west here. But you're really going to see a lot of cold air and possible snow get pulled down with the system out of Canada here. And you can see it just sticks around because this is Tuesday. You can see it forming, and all the way till Friday, it's still sticking around out here in the northern Great Lakes area. And going into Saturday and Sunday, it's placed just to the north of the Great Lakes, which could bring the possibility for some lake effect snow on the Great Lakes here. So we will monitor, not quite sure where yet, but we could see some lake effect snow this time around from the Great Lakes, as you can see, it just kind of spins around up there, drawing that wind flow over the Great Lakes, bringing the possibility for some lake effect snow. So this system will likely be around for a while, bringing much, much below average temperatures to much of the U.S. for an extended period of time. And if we quickly bring it over to the height anomaly here, we can get an idea of where our warm and cold air masses are. So this little blue dot here is our smaller trough dipping down, bringing that somewhat cooler temperatures here in the Great Lakes region. Otherwise, we're mostly average across the U.S. this time around. But if we drag it out, we can see this one move off to the east, and we get that ridging that I was just talking about building in the east here, and then that at the beginning of that trough really dipping down, bringing much cooler temperatures to the Four Corners region over there. And we can see that trough kind of fade out and then really amplify here as it gets over the southern areas. This would be very much below average temperatures for this time of year. And we can kind of see that it's going to do is just spin around these eastern areas for multiple days, bringing the possibility for freezing temperatures all the way down to the south here. Snow, rain, and really anything you could ask for with this system. Whereas Canada is going to be saying much above average, possibly record-breaking heat. So we could see record-breaking low temperatures and record-breaking hot temperatures up here in Canada. And then that system moves out before bringing some more average temperatures for that area for this time of year. And now this right here is going to be your actual temperatures for your area, so you can kind of see the general areas where the actual temperatures would be. So we already have some mid 40s up here in the northern areas and some 70s and 60s out here down to the south around this evening here, or this morning. And then if we drag this out, we can see that cold shot really start to drag down and start to bring freezing temperatures to areas here in the Great Lakes. And then you can really see that freezing line move all the way down to the areas like Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and all the way down to Texas. The possibility of that first freeze line making it all the way down here where we can see freezing temperatures here in places like northern Georgia or Alabama, and much below freezing temperatures here off in the north in areas like Minnesota. So we could see possibly a first freeze for areas like in Kentucky, Tennessee, and areas around that area. And that's a pretty far reach for a freeze line. Usually we won't see that for another month or two yet. But we could see some very below average temperatures and possible record breaking below average temperatures going into mid to late next week. And if we take a look at simulated radar, we can get an idea of where rain, snow, severe weather may set up over the next few days here, going into later next week. And if we drag this out, we could see our Sunday, Monday severe weather here in the Texas and New Mexico region, also bringing the possibility for some high elevation snow down there in New Mexico. And if we drag that out, we can really see that backside snow on this trough amplify, bringing the possibility for heavy snow in areas like the Dakotas, and even sinking down into Nebraska there. And that also brings the possibility for snow in areas like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, even Michigan. And if we drag that out, we can see that low pressure system off to the north here, bringing the possibility for the lake effect snow on the other side. So we'll have to watch for the possibility of some lake effect snow, as it is prime time for that. So we'll have to continue to watch for that. We'll also have to watch for the possibility of a better snowstorm setting up for areas like, Wisconsin or Illinois and Indiana and Michigan. So we'll have to watch for the possibility of a better snowstorm. But right now what we're watching for is the possibility for some backside snow. And then some, lighter snow showers just kind of drifting around this area of low pressure. And last thing we're going to be looking at today is our total snowfall map. So you can see over the next day or two that snow setting up in the higher elevations in the Rockies there. And then as we go into Sunday and Monday, we get that higher elevation snow, possibly, up to a foot or more in isolated areas for here, areas in New Mexico. And that backside snow really sets up there in the Nebraska and Dakotas region, bring the possibility for more than a foot of snow if that backside of snow can really get amplified there. And if we drag this out even more, we can see that snow drifting around there in areas like Wisconsin and Minnesota and the UP of Michigan, bring the possibility for some decent snow. And again, this is preliminary. This is a far outlook, but we could see the possibility of a couple inches of snow for areas like Wisconsin or Minnesota. And then you can really see that backside snow And you can tell where the backside snow is because you can see that we have the Great Lake here of we have the Great Lake of Michigan right here, right? And on this east side where that storm is going to be pushing the air like that, you get all that snow setting up for the possibility of some possibly heavy snow. So anywhere on the east of these lakes, if you're on the east or just to the south and east of these lakes, you could see the possibility for some lake effect snow over the next week here as that low pressure sets up and then spins off to the north, bringing the possibility for lake effect snow. Mainly over the next couple days and next week or two, we're going to be looking for the possibility of a pattern flip leading to much below average temperatures and the possibility for severe weather and snowstorms over the next 2 weeks. And we are also watching for Tropical Storm Sara to re-enter the Gulf and try and do something a little sneaky. So I'll continue to update you guys on future forecasts. Thank you for watching this forecast, and I hope to see you in the next.